They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. And I never been down with no OPP. I talk about selling our people's property. Don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. Hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say when you find a donkey, ride it. Who's donkey? Huh? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand. But I can fix this, I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. I can everybody sell some every day. Selling one island, it won't keep. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our.
Also from the Auditor General's report that was laid in Parliament today, last year's Carifta Games nearly $5 million over budget. The report tabled in Parliament showed and concluded that the government initially budgeted a sum of $1 million. However, the public purse ended up paying out some $6.4 million for the event. Eyewitness News understands that the initial $1 million serves as a holding payment to secure the games, with the government always expecting that more money would have to be spent. Now, according to the report, the process for acquiring those funds were not consistently adhered to by the LOC. Serving as the LOC chairman for the games, and funds received had already been allocated to expenses unrelated to those games, according to the report. Now, the report also said that a total number of $5,430,337.68 was received from government by the end of August, and an estimated $1.1 million was initially budgeted. The report did, however, note that capital works were completed for upgrades, resulting in some of the overexpenditure, which amounted to 250% of the allocated budget. Now, those improvements included stadium preparations, upgrades, and technology. The report also noted that $1.2 million was budgeted. However, they overspent by on capital works projects. Now, the report outlined the fact that the local organizing committee did not retain corroborating evidence for value-in-kind donations. Bastian said that the LOC did not always keep invoices for companies estimated at some $76,000, and there were no records. Additionally, the event organizing agreement was not signed. There was a breach of contract agreements and stipulations related to employees, vendors, and sponsorship agreements. The Auditor General also sought to ascertain whether the Carifta Game activities were carried out by the law governing its operations. Now, the LOC chair, Lyndon Maycock, he declined to speak with Eyewitness News on those findings when contacted today.
So welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Good evening to you. Good evening to your listening audience. Thank you. Living in very exciting, very interesting times. I've always been a firm advocate for our natural resources. And there are several things that was always fundamental to me. One, the natural resources of our country belongs to the people of our country, to the Bahamian people. And secondly, I've always advocated, not specifically knowing it, but I always felt that our new streams of revenue would emerge from our natural resources.
Well, we see that because we see that report say 100 billion. But before you even go forward, I want to talk about that because we hear the potential, the natural resources, the revenue, that what they can do for this economy. But I like what you said. Why not? Yes, have it assist the economy and help with infrastructure development and the rest of it, but the individual Bahamian should be able to benefit.
No, as I said, I've always been a firm advocate, always, that it belongs, fundamentally, the resources of the country belongs to the people, and the people ought to be the primary beneficiaries. I've always maintained that position. At the time, most of us who were advocates, the focus was really, a lot of the talk, most of the talk was aragonite or salt or pine forests or other areas. And then I started hearing and to read about our mangroves. And I didn't hear about our seagrass until even after that. And then you started hearing the talk of carbon and carbon trading and all the everything around carbon and climate change.
Where does the seagrass come in? Because I've not heard that one before. Where does the seagrass come in, and what is the seagrass and its potential to make up that 154 billion projected income?
Of course, projected. Of course, it's potential. The potential is there. Haven't been actualized, but the potential is there. And they're giving an estimate, so you can't really say. But obviously, their estimate is on what some person would say on the very positive or the high side of the scale. Other persons differ, but that's not here or there. The fact is, we believe there's tremendous potential there. Now, with regards to our natural resources and the seagrass, in the world of carbon and carbon credits and whole talk of climate change and the greenhouse gas effect, of which carbon is one of the gases that's really contributes, and then you have warmer climates, you have the melting of the glaciers, then you have these more fierce storms, example, Dorian.
That we experienced just a couple of years ago, yeah.
Dorian.
Even the rains and the flooding and all the stuff that's happening
all
right
of
now.
This, climate related. Now, in the Bahamas, mangroves, well, forests basically are carbon sinks. Because as you know, we exhale carbon, the plants, they exhale oxygen, which we need. So it's that exchange between us and the
very
plant.
necessary exchange.
Now, our mangroves, they retain far more of the carbon than our terrestrial plants, forests do. Also, our seagrass, it's exponentially more.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here on this Sunday, the 21st of April. This year is going fast. May is already here, and that means just about half of the year is gone, and it feels like we just had New Year's Day. This year is flying by, and I say that to say life is short, y'all. And we have to live our life to the fullest and take advantage of every opportunity. That's every opportunity to live, every opportunity to love, every opportunity to laugh. We have to take this life seriously, because we only get a short period and then it's gone. We get a short little period and then it's over. And so we have to learn to take this seriously. We have to learn to stop holding grudges against people. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. We have to stop holding things in, forgive fast, and keep moving on. Why? Life is short. Again, we just had New Year's Day. And now the year is basically gone. And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we blink, it's going to be Christmas again. It's going to be the end of the year. Summer is upon us. And next thing we know, it's going to be election time again. Look how fast 5 years is going past. We got a country to save, and we're losing it fast. And we have to do everything that we can to make sure that we maintain the little that we have left of what we have left. All right. So I need y'all to stay focused and stay focused. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to cover a couple of things. As you can see, the topic for the day is basically shares for sale, because we got to talk about that. Had an interesting weekend as it relates to that. That was the funniest thing in the world. I literally saw it as cute. And it deserves some attention and another lecture of the Bahamians who I thought had moved into the intellectual age, but they're still allowing trolls to just say anything and put anything out there, and they're falling for it. The first criteria when you get any information that you should use to see if you should pay attention to it is, does it come from a paid troll? If the information comes from a troll, then you shouldn't take it serious. All right? 9 out of 10 times, there will be no truth to it. And so that 1 out of 10 that there might be some truth to it, it isn't worth assuming or worrying or hurting your head. just ignore paid trolls. They are paid to do a job. And that job is to keep you broke, keep you poor, keep you dumb, and keep you begging the politicians when they come around every election. So we need all of you to stay focused. Um, Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in some yourself continuing to that is going down, 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 and you're not paying attention to it because you're getting distracted on nonsense. All right. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Fred Mitchell has given his trolls the marching orders, and his marching orders for them is simple. His marching orders is listen, we can't win them on the arguments, on the issues. Just go in the groups and just throw mud. That's what he literally told them. He's telling all of them that. Go in the groups and throw mud because it's easier to throw mud than to clean off mud. And get your enemies so busy trying to clean off mud that they can't get focused. If you're running a race trying to get to the finish line and you're too busy trying to clean off mud, you're never going to get to that finish line. And so Fred Mitchell, who is a very shrewd politician, don't underestimate him, is just telling all of his trolls. Notice when in all the groups used to be talking about the issues and what's going on. Now no one is talking about that. There's arguments back and forth. Who is pretty, who is ugly, who is gay, who is straight, who is a thief, who's a crook. That's all they're doing in the groups now. And that's how the politicians continue to win, by distracting you with nonsense. And so we gotta talk about that. And so I'll start with this. We're gonna get to the $8 million man and the $7 million man. All right. There are two of them in the PLP right now. The $7 million man, I think you all know that that's Dude Carifta, but there's also an $8 million man. And so we got some documents we're going to show you that's going to be very interesting. Yeah, we're dropping in documents. So share this live, tag some people, make sure that everyone is on here. I am going to put up the chat on the side so that you can see what everyone is saying, no matter which platform you are watching from. So the chat is going to be right here. There you go. So as you chat, the chat's going to come up. If you need to see it good, you can turn your device sideways and you can watch it. The reason I put that up there is because sometimes Facebook, they edit it seems like they modify the chat. Some goes missing, some are hidden for no reason. All right. And so, yeah, so that's why I'm putting this up. So it makes me smaller, but it's fine. All right. So that way you can see the chats from every Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're watching from. You can be able to share in the experience. All right. So Fred is strategizing. Fred is telling his guys, listen, man, just go there and just throw dirt. All right. As much as you can. Don't worry about the issues. No matter what they talk about, just start throwing dirt. And it is a strategy, and it's actually a good strategy. It's a good PR political strategy when you know you are losing and can't win on the issues. All right. And so I'm going to start this off by, well, I mean, the PLP and a couple of FNM trolls, but mostly the PLP. The FNM doesn't have really much people supporting it right now on that level. But the PLP trolls went into overdrive from last week all into the weekend. Every day they were talking about the COI. Every day they woke up all day they were talking about the COI, and so it was flattering for people to wake up with you on their mind every day. It feels good for the PLP to wake up with you on their mind every day and to be talking about you. But what concerns me is that it seems like the level of some of the Bahamian people has gone down. These are the rules. These are the rules for the intellectual Bahamian. I want you to pay close attention to these rules. All right? Well, I'll tell you one rule. If it comes from a PLP troll, don't pay attention to it. If they give information without proof, don't pay attention to it. As simple as that. That's two easy rules, isn't that? Two easy rules. If they give, if a PLP troll spread something, there's no evidence behind it. Why are you sharing that? Why are you paying attention to that? Why are you wondering about it? I mean, if it's that easy to distract you, the new Bahamas would be lost. We have no hope for the future. If the politicians can just say, get the trolls to say anything, and you are giving that the time of day, anything a paid troll says should just get thrown in the garbage instantly. I find it flattering. I mean, sometimes I sit down and I laugh. You know, the things that they make up, the stories. Remember how much different story. Every time that we are about to do something major, they start spreading lies and throwing mud. That's what Fred would tell them to do. If we're about to have a protest, I remember when we were going to Miami to have a protest in Miami. They started, oh, Lincoln was put on terrorist list. He can't travel, and people was like, Lincoln, is that true? And that's who you heard say that? Yeah, that PLP troll. And you're gonna ask me if it's true. You're gonna pay attention to something that a paid troll says? Come on. Come on. Come on. Seriously? They were waking up with a different story about me last week. Every day they had something different to say, some different distraction. I mean, it was entertaining. All right. So listen, man, this is what they get paid to do. All right. And if you're gonna take what these people have to say as seriously, then maybe we don't deserve the new Bahamas. If they're that simple, that we know that this person is a paid troll that is paid to lie for a living, to distract you and throw mud, and they would say something, you say, oh, maybe this one is true. All of the last ones were false, but maybe this one is true. And then it turns out to be false. Then they say something else, oh, maybe this one is true. I heard so much stories about me this weekend. It was mind blowing. All right, but I don't have time to focus on that on any of those stories. We don't have time for that. Let's get moving to the new Bahamas. All right. I can't even remember. It was so much different stories. I can't even remember any of them, even to address them. And I don't have time for that. But just say that if it came from a paid troll, I mean, come on, man. Come on. I shouldn't have to say this to sensible Bahamians, but come on, man. Jesus. Jesus. What the troll says doesn't hurt me. The fact that Bahamians can't catch on to what the politicians are doing by paying trolls to just say anything, that's what bothers me. One of the things that was said was that the COI is selling shares. The COI is selling shares. The COI is selling shares of its organization. I mean, this is the most ridiculous. I've heard some idiotic things said, but a political party selling shares of its political party, that was so completely asinine that I couldn't believe that persons were actually taking that seriously. Then I started to realize that a lot of Bahamians really don't understand how these kinds of things work. Most Bahamians have never incorporated an organization, they've never incorporated a company, so they don't know what it's supposed to be like. And so when I realized that, I said, you know what? Maybe this is a teachable moment, because in the New Bahamas, we want all of our Bahamians to be owners. We want us to be business owners. We want the foreigners to come in and work for us. And so we need to probably start educating people on how this thing is supposed to work. And I wanted to take some time to do that today. All right. You know, when I went to do business in Barbados, that was the first place I expanded outside of the Bahamas. And when we got there, I realized that the local people It was similar to us. The local black people were mostly just servants, workers. They didn't know anything about business. They didn't try to do business. That wasn't in their minds. And that was shocking to me. And then I went to Turks and Caicos to go and do business there. And we went around and I just exercise. I was asking the people there, right? This is in the early 2000s. I was asking the people there, where's the business license office that I could go and apply for the business license? Um, and not one black person was able to tell me where it was. I'm not saying that none of them would know, but none of the ones I spoke to. And it was like, wow. I mean, there's not many places in Provo that you can actually go, and people were like, well, I don't know. I don't maybe I don't know, because our people were not there, were not empowered to even think about opening a business for the most part. I went into a restaurant, a white-owned restaurant, and asked the owner, and they could tell me right away where to go to apply for a business license in Turks and Caicos. And that was shocking to me. It's like, wow, I want to empower my people. And that became a mission for me since then. And so when they started saying this thing about the COI was selling shares, and some people called me, and one person, called me and said, no, some people are concerned about this. Like, how could they not know that the COI was selling shares? I was like, what? And that was ridiculous. I had a conversation with one of our attorneys, Donna Major, today, and I can only laugh at it. I even had a conversation with Maria Doxson, before I started this live. And yes, I spoke to Maria Doxson before my last live, when I addressed whatever, and I told her what I was going to say, etc. And I spoke to her before this live. All right, and I spoke to her again, and both of them was like, what? Why? What a like, this is the normal process. Like, how could they even think that they could get any traction out of that? And I was like, but they did. There's some people who were confused, and and so I have to address it. All right, and so they literally put, and I wanna before I get into that, I'm gonna say this to all of my Bahamian people. Dr. Miles used to say this everywhere he went in the world. He said the biggest enemy of man is not Satan. He said the biggest enemy of man is ignorance. The biggest enemy of man. All right? Ignorance. Because they use ignorance, and ignorance is used to destroy mankind. They use it as to take advantage of you. They use it to deceive you. Ignorance. Remember, I keep telling you, knowledge is not power. Ignorance is power. All right? Knowledge is not power. Ignorance is. All right? You see, the reason you buy a can of Coke is because you don't know how to make a can of Coke. You understand? Ignorance is power. Because if you know how to do something and I know how to do something, the knowledge that you have isn't your power. Being ignorant about it. And that's why their secrets, their trade secrets is powerful, because it's the ignorance that makes them powerful. That's why the politicians have been lying to you and keeping secrets for you for all these years, because ignorance is power. If they can hold on to the knowledge and keep you ignorant, they will continue to be able to control you. Ignorance is power. And so that's how the trolls could have, over the last couple of days, say something as ridiculous as they were saying, as stupid, I will say. I will dare to say that the COI was selling shares. And people took that. There were some people who took that serious. There were some people who were like, oh, I wonder if this is true. Ignorance is power. And this is why in Bahamian Evolution, we decided to educate the people first, so that you would know what you're standing against, and so that the ignorance would be gone. We educated the people about their natural resources, about their carbon credits, about all of these stuff that people are now talking about. So we're gonna have a conversation about this just a minute, and then we gotta talk about the $7 million man and the $8 million man. Who's the $8 million man? The $7 million man. Y'all can tell me who that is. Carifta MP. The $8 million man is Frank Smith. We come back to that in a minute, because Frank Smith is doing something that's shocking. All right, but let's come back to that. So first and foremost, I wanted to educate you about how incorporating companies work, because they actually dropped the document, and the document was this right here. The document was this. Let me let me show you the document. They said they're going to drop a document, and this is the document they dropped. They dropped this document to say that the Coalition of Independence is selling shares. Look at it. They said, "Oh, look at that. They are selling shares. And look, someone has 1 share, someone has 2 shares, and look at it. They are selling shares." And Jesus. I mean, I first instinct, I laughed. And then when I realized that people were taking that seriously, I was like, hold on, wait. People taking that seriously? Like, the COI is selling shares of the COI? Okay, let me explain something to you. Anytime you form a company, you have to register your articles of association and your memorandum. And you have to have what they call subscribers. And those subscribers sign on to the memorandum. And what they would do is they would give 1 share each to both subscribers. Sometimes those subscribers, like if you have a law firm incorporating a company for you, what they would do is they would even take 2 of the ladies that work in the law firm, maybe 2 of the secretaries, and they would have them as subscribers just to form the company. All right. And once the company is formed, then you can later decide who's the shareholder, et cetera, et cetera. All right. The subscriber is the persons who originally sign on to register the company with the government. So they're doing that on behalf of the actual persons. All right. That's a subscriber. And so the names that you just saw on that document, they're subscribers. All right. And they will always give the subscriber the nominal amount of shares, 1 share, 2 share, whatever it is. All right. Just a nominal amount. It's normally 1 share. All right. So if you look carefully at this document, you will see the numbers of shares taken by each subscriber. And you see it says names and address and descriptions of subscribers. Okay. We, the subscribers to the Articles of Association. I hope you can see this clearly. Let me look at my document, make sure you can see this good. I want you to see this good. But anyway, I'll read it to you. It says, we, the subscribers of the Articles of Association, have hereunto subscribed. Subscribe because you're signing. Like script is subscribed. You're signing underwriting. Subscribed our names this 25th day of August, AD 2021. These are subscribers. Okay? I'm breaking this down as simply as I can because it seems like in order to be a PLP troll, one of the criteria is that you must be as dumb as bricks. All right? Because apparently they can't read. So where it said subscribers, they said that those persons were selling shares. That's the Articles of Association. If you want to form a company, anyone, you have to have subscribers. So either you let the law firm do it, they let someone just sign it, all right? Or they'll say, okay, y'all have anyone y'all want to be subscribers? They say, okay, we have a couple people. Yeah, let them just sign and they'll be subscribers. That's how it works. If you want to form whatever organization you want to form, you can start from there under the Companies Act. Okay. And so if you want to form a charity, you can start by incorporating a company, and then you can form the charity. You have for profit and you have not for profit. All right. Now, it goes a little deeper than that. All right. So if you're doing a not for profit, you can start by doing a company, incorporated company, and then later transferring it into a not for profit. Now, the problem with a not for profit is the attorney general has to sign off on that, and it could take some time. And so, if you just want to get started, like you want to start a bank account or whatever, just to get going, you might want to form an incorporated company first, get all your paperwork, etc., get that form, and then do your bank accounts. You can start doing what you need to do. Because if you have to wait on the Attorney General to sign, like if you're at a COI, for example, and you have to wait on the Attorney General to sign off on that, how long do you think that's going to take? All right. It took us almost a year for them to open our bank account. This is the kind of victimization that we have experienced as an organization in this country. Okay. And so for us, we formed it so that we can get moving and get going, because election was imminent. As you can see, that was before the 2021 election. All right. And so Maria was initially supposed to be the person to form the organization. And that's why you see she was not one of the signatories on there, because she was supposed to be the lawyer to actually do that. I guess she didn't have time or whatever. So when that was done, signed, election had already been called. And so we had to get going. If there were people who wanted to donate to us or whatever, we didn't have anything yet. All right. We didn't have any way to deal with them officially if they wanted to write a check to the COI, et cetera, et cetera. And so we had to get it going. And so Donna took over, and Donna just formed the company. All right. And that was after election was called. Remember, election was September 16th. That was August 25th. And so it was literally about 3 weeks to election when you saw that being done. And so we went and formed it. Okay. From there, it took almost a year for them to allow us to open a bank account. That's the victimization that we've been experiencing. All right. So I don't want y'all to think that this road is easy. There's some people who make fun of us. There's people who criticize and nitpick at every little thing, but they don't know what we really go through. I attempted to open a business account with both Bank of the Bahamas and Commonwealth Bank after the election, and both of them told me, no, they're not opening any account for me. One, I told them, put it in writing. One put it in writing, and another one didn't, said, we ain't putting it in writing. All right, Commonwealth Bank put it in writing, I think. And Bank of the Bahamas said they ain't putting it in writing because it's victimization. I guess they didn't want me to have any evidence against them to sue them. But this is the kind of victimization. I don't want y'all to think that this road is easy. This road is not easy. We don't complain about everything. We don't go out there and speak out about everything. But we are in a fight for not only for our lives, but for the lives of this country. And they are using every area of society to beat us down, where it's fake lawsuits, stupid lawsuits that they can just use to put out there because they have nothing on you. Whether it's police officers that they use to arrest you for no reason and harass you. Whether it's blocking you in your business and your business efforts. They are fighting. But we're not complaining. What are we doing? We are moving strong and moving to the new Bahamas. So I want everyone to stay focused on what is important. And that is why they're trying to muddy the water while they steal and rape and rob us. And so that's the breakdown of how that works. And so that's what you are really seeing. And so I need people to stop panicking. I need Bahamians to stay focused and stop panicking over every little thing that these political trolls put in front of you. Listen to nothing they say. I didn't say some, nothing. Because even if it's true, get it from somewhere else. I told them before when I heard them, saying all these rumors about me and this and that. I mean, it's so much stuff. I'm surprised they didn't say what I was born a woman or something yet, because they didn't say so much stuff, and it's just ridiculous. If you don't hear from me, just ignore it. If they said, "Oh, Lincoln did this to this person," if you ain't heard from that person, why are you listening to it from a troll? So someone did something to this person, but a troll got to talk about it. If it's coming from a troll, it's false. Let's just take that stance moving into election, because we know what they are about. We know their tactics. If it's coming from a troll, it's false. All right? It is false until proven true. Like how you're innocent until proven guilty. It's false until proven true. All right? So here we go. I want you to look at this documentation, because I like you to see things. I like to educate my people. I don't just like to give loose information. Let me see. Yeah, we'll go straight to it. I want you to look at this information here, and then we can talk about the $7 million and $8 million man, because these people living their best life, and I don't know what's going to be left when we take over. We're going to have to take everything back from them. So y'all got to stay focused. All right. Here we go. Watch this. All right. So I'm sharing my screen. Registration of nonprofit organizations, compliance with the Nonprofit Organizations Act. All right. And so the government actually put this together. Attorney General's office, their compliance unit put this together to help you understand exactly what's going on and understand this process a little better than you might have. All right. So they put together the rules of a nonprofit and how that works, and who is exempt from certain things. All right. I'll start with definition of a nonprofit. All right. Let's start from here. This is section 2 of the Act. A nonprofit is a body of persons, whether incorporated or unincorporated. So whether you're incorporated, like that process that you saw us do, where we had signatories, where we had subscribers, or if you're unincorporated. So you can still be a nonprofit if you're unincorporated, like if you're doing an association or something. Formed and established for the purpose of promoting public policies and objectives that are religious, charitable, educational, scientific, environmental, historic, cultural, fraternal, literary, sporting, artistic, athletic, or promoting health, and whose gross annual income or any part thereof, if any, and other income are applied to the promotion of those objects, and there is a promotion of any dividend or refund contributions to its members, but excludes a religious or charitably funded school registered with the Ministry of Education. So it excludes. So the persons who don't have to register as a NGO is a school, all right, religious or charitably funded school registered with the Ministry of Education, and any organization with political objectives. All right, so that means a political organization. All right, let me go down to 1.6. All right, so exclusion. These are the organizations that are excluded from excluded from the definition of an NPO. All right, so exemptions from registration. All right, so people are saying, oh, you have to be an NPO, or you have to be this, you have to be that. No. You can be whatever you want. All right, it's a voluntary process. And I'm just going to go straight down. So this is the whole list that they have of who is exempted, who comes under the definition, but they're exempted. So this is the list. So they have some social clubs, etc., who come under that, but Christian Council. But for right now, they're excluding them from that list. All right, and what's happening is incorporation the same as registration? No. Incorporation and registration are not the same. An NPO can be incorporated under Section 14 of the Companies Act. So a nonprofit organization can be incorporated under Section 14 of the Companies Act. All right. And incorporated NPO license from the Minister and a certificate of incorporation from the Registrar General. And NPO is registered under Section 7 of the NPO Act. A registered NPO receives a certificate of registration. All right. Are incorporated NGOs required to be registered? Are incorporated NGOs required to be registered? Yes. Incorporated as well as unincorporated nonprofit organizations are required to be registered once they do not fall within the categories excluded or not required to register above at 1.6 and 1.7 respectively. All right, so this 1.7, and you remember this 1.6 up here. And of course, it says, and this is the exclusions, including the exclusions is this right here. Any political party or group which was allocated a symbol for the use of its nominated candidates in the last general elections by the parliamentary commissioner pursuant to clause 3(1) of the parliamentary elections symbols and time off regulations for the time being. Sorry, that's where it ends. All right. So this is what makes you a political party, not the way you are registered. Registering with the parliamentary commissioner and being issued a symbol. Okay? That's what makes you registered. Because guess what? The PLP and F&M aren't incorporated at all. Not as far as I can see. Not even as a NPO. Not as anything. But they have, they were allocated a symbol for the use of nominated candidates in the last general elections by the parliamentary commissioner. And that's what makes you a political party. Okay? Not the way you choose to register or whatever you call it. I'll get into that in a second. All right. And so this is really how it works. If you want to see this document, just do a quick search. Incorporated NGO is required to register. As an unincorporated association required to become incorporated. No, you're not required to become incorporated. If you don't want the NPO, have to obtain a business license in order to be registered. Nope. When can NPO obtain application form? They give the way you can do it. Can a that's as a company the Companies Act, all right, be converted to an NPO? A Companies Act company, like what you saw us register, incorporated pursuant to Section 14 is a licensed NPO which must register under the NPO Act unless you're exempted. Other companies incorporated under the Companies Act can be converted into a non-profit. So you can convert later if its declared purpose and activities fall within the Act. Organizational documents, memorandum, and articles of association you saw on those signatures should also be amended to align with that of non-profit companies, et cetera, et cetera. And then they go into umbrella organizations and all this other stuff. All right, constituent units and everything else. All right, and which documents are required, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to put that in front of you so that you don't listen to nonsense and the garbage that is being spewed out there. All right. And so you can form a company, and that's what we did. So all they did was show that we went and did things the right way. That's all they did, was show that we did things the right way. And you form the company, and then you can decide later how it is you're going to move forward, whatever it is. All right. How you're going to do what it is you do. And so what you saw is what's called subscribers. All right, subscribers. And I was going to show you all some stuff on the government website, but it looks like the government website isn't working properly. Let me see something. Yeah, let me see if it's working now. Yeah, the government have a website where you can do company searches. Let me see if it's going to work this time. Yeah. Okay, let me pull it up. I want you all to see this. So please get out of panic mode and let's get focused on what we should be focused on in this country. Get out of panic mode. All right. We are all in. We are focused. We're steadfast. We're making this happen. Let's go here. This is the website where you can go to see information on companies, if a company exists, etc. Right? Whether it's a nonprofit organization or whatever it is. Okay. Okay. Let me do a little quick search. So you have a choice how you want to start your company. I remember an interesting story. Dr. Miles Monroe wanted to be the first church to be on TV in the Bahamas. He learned from Oral Roberts and them that the way to spread the message was to be on TV, not just to be in the four walls. And so he wanted that same thing. He learned it from Frederick Price and Oral Roberts, etc. And so he wanted to be on ZNS. And when he went to ZNS, they said, nope, we don't have religious programming on our station. We can't put the church on here. All right. And so he said, but I'm not registered as a church. So even though he is a church, he said, I'm not registered as a church. He said that we are registered as a company. All right. And so because we're registered as a company and not as a church or NGO, you have to allow us to buy time on your station. Otherwise, we're going to sue you. And they were outsmarted because they didn't even think about that. And that's how Dr. Miles was able to be the first church to be able to get on there, because he didn't register as a church. All right. He didn't have a typical church name, BFM. It sounded corporate, and that's what he wanted. And he went and he did what he had to do, and he got them to put him on TV, and that opened the door for many other churches to now be able to come on TV. But it was because of how he incorporated. He incorporated as a company and not as a church, because it was his choice. Today, now they are registered as a nonprofit because of the new rules in 2019, I guess. So if you search, let me see if this will come up. Bahamas Faith Ministries International. Let's see if it comes up. If this thing is working yet. Let's see. See if the government can embarrass herself. Look how long it's taking. Let's see. Okay, it's probably going to come up. I don't know why it's taking so long. Come on. We can do it. Come on, Bahamas government. I believe in you. You can do it. Almost there. Look how long this is taking. Oh, God. I so wish we could have at least, one thing that works in our country. Look at this. It's just circling and circling and circling. It's just circling and circling. Oh, my God. Well, it's the country that we live in. Ain't much we could do with that. All right? Not much we could do with that. And so that's not, I guess it's not going to come up. And I was going to show you, I was going to do a search for the Progressive Liberal Party to show you that they're not even registered here. I was going to do a search for the Free National Movement to show you that they're not registered here. But of course, the thing isn't working. Welcome to the Bahamas. And so what you saw was subscribers. So let me stop sharing because that ain't. Oh, God. I mean, as simple as a website. As simple as a website, they can't get to work. All right. And so, so that's how shares, that's how subscribers work. So it's like when the Weissfish brothers who was in court for a little while suing over this $100 million that Brave and others they said that they took or were trying to take. You see, Brave's law firm formed a company, and they used some persons in the office to be the subscribers. And so what they're saying is that Brave's argument was that, hold on, no, I really own this company. And Brave was trying to do the little switcheroo because it was the subscribers who he controls who was really holding on to this $100 million. All right. And so but of course it was determined they're just the subscribers. You can't use that to hold on to say they shareholders or whatever. That ain't your company. All right. And so there's the little switcheroo that was going on. So I hope you understand the difference, and I hope you realize the importance of ignoring the political trolls. Their job is to distract you. All right? Their job is to distract you. So we need you to stay focused. I won't go into any more of that. I have some other stuff I want to talk about. I was really going to dig into that White Fish Brother thing and some other stuff to show you companies Brave in them form. But if they come at us again with this nonsense, we're gonna come at them the way we need to. But we want to stay focused right now on what's right in the front of us in this country. Now, everyone was talking all week about the $7 million thing and how they're over budget by $7 million. Some are justifying it. So we have an auditor general, and the auditor general, the purpose of them is to keep our country in compliance and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do as an acceptable nation by making sure the government is not doing corruption. And so this is the international community doing this, not necessarily the government of the country. All right. So the Auditor General is doing a process that the international community wants in place. They put certain things in place in different countries to make sure there's accountability. One of them is the Public Accounts Committee. In every country, the Public Accounts Committee is the opposition. It's controlled by the opposition. And of course, in our country, the PLP and FNM are working together. So the Public Accounts Committee never does anything. And so Michael Pintard is in charge of the Public Accounts Committee right now. And so he's not doing anything, all right? In terms of politicians being able, having to declare, the opposition has the power to do certain things. They have the power because they're supposed to report to the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, and he has the power to put this thing forward before the Commissioner, Attorney General, etc., to punish those who don't declare. But do you see Pintard doing any of this? No. And he's not going to do any of this. All right. He's not going to do anything to hurt Philip Brave Davis. All right. And so the Public Accounts Committee can move this thing forward, and the opposition can move this thing forward with the disclosures. But of course, they're not doing that because the PLP and FNM are one. Actually, anyone who didn't disclose can lose anything that they didn't disclose, whether that was money, a bank account, a piece of land, car. They can lose anything that they didn't disclose. That's a big punishment. Anything that they didn't disclose can be lost. All right? Anything. And they can get jail time and a $10,000 fine. All right? But of course, Pintard isn't going to do anything. All right? So, and the Public Accounts Committee is doing what? Nothing. What the Auditor General is doing, the Public Accounts Committee can do similar. They can subpoena, they can call the government into question, they can demand any documents, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why they didn't want me and the COI and the House of Assembly, because we know the power that opposition really has. And they don't want us in there. They want persons they control in there. And that's why right now they're trying to groom and organize some other third parties to give people an option outside of the COI, but controlled by them, to take votes from the COI and to in case something happens, to make sure they have people in there that they can control. And so I want you to stay focused and not fall for that. That trick is coming. everything I say comes to pass and that trick is coming, they're going to try to bring these people, give them some good, important issues to deal with, give them information that they need so they could look like they're bringing stuff forward. They're going to fund them. They're going to bring some good people together. So you can say, but these people qualified. Why don't they just work together? You know what? Let's just vote for who you think is best and let them work that out after election. Because the people will be tricked again, not knowing that this is the plan of the PLP and FNM and the system and how they work. We need to concentrate our forces, decide on which third party you're going with, and just go with that third party. As simple as that. All right? And we are the ones out there fighting for the Bahamian people. So I'm challenging you, give us your full support. Give us your full support. We are the ones taking the risks. We are the ones not selling out, no matter how much they offer, how much jobs they offer, etc. Stand with us. All right. And so back to what we were talking about. We are in a state now where there's no accountability. None. They're distracting us, singing and dancing, celebrating the most frivolous things while they're stealing in every way they can. The Auditor General can only deal with a certain amount of things at a time. And notice every time he gets on something, what comes out of it is that there's some skullduggery going on. But see, the problem is he can only focus on one area at a time. But every area he reaches, you find out they're doing skullduggery. Imagine how much other areas is skullduggery happening right now. And most of the skullduggery is going to be done by the small-time politicians, the rookie politicians. They let the rookie politicians do the dirty work so they can take the fall, and it doesn't hurt the party. Like the mafia. You let the small man do the dirt. So that's why you saw Lanisha Roll got caught up. And remember, it was a COI that exposed the Lanisha Roll scandal, and after that, she was arrested. We remember I did a whole live, and I went line by line on the report that Minnis had hidden, and it got into our hands. And I went line by line and showed the skullduggery that Lanisha Roll was doing. All right, and the police was forced to arrest her after that. Don't forget, the COI has been keeping them honest. All right, Shannon Cartwright, he said the people above him made him do it. I don't understand how he's still the deputy. Nice guy, but no one can make me do anything illegal. All right. And so what they do is they use a small-time politician like him. And so Minnis won't get touched because he's on the top. But those ones on the bottom, that's who they use. So that's what you can start to see. So Mr. Minister of Sports, you're the rookie, and you will take the fall so that they can protect the bigger boys. That's how it's done. All right. And so the Auditor General now, anywhere he audits, they're going to find skullduggery. What is this telling you? They're raping and robbing this country, and we are sitting down and allowing it to happen. They tell us they're broke. They can't pay the people. They can't pay you on time. They can't pay you overtime. The police reserves have not been paid. They had police reserve promotions from last year. Them people ain't get paid yet. The police reservists haven't been paid yet from they had their promotions. But when y'all want to find $7 million to go party, y'all will do it. You want 1.5 million to go England to party and carry Miss Laura them, they will do it. They find money for what they want to find money for. And then they're going to distract you. They're going to distract you with, say this about Lincoln, say that about Lincoln. They ain't going to know if it's true or not. They just distract them. So that's the old weapons. And as Bahamians, we can't let those old weapons work anymore. We cannot. These guys, everything I say turns out to be true. You are going to find out that this administration right now is raping and robbing billions of dollars from the Bahamian people. That is what I believe. You know when you can find it out? Once this crew get voted out and the next crew come in, they're going to use it as a distraction for the next couple of years. And then nothing really is going to happen. Nothing. So the $7 million man, that's indicative of something bigger that is happening. This isn't new. This happens after every election. The same thing keeps repeating itself. And we keep voting for it. Yo, let's get it together. Now the $8 million man. The $8 million man. All right? The $8 million man. So Frank Smith was arrested. And of course, when they do these arrests, they set it up to make sure the person didn't really get convicted. Because what happened was the U.S. was cracking down on corruption. Minnis told the U.S. that he was going to focus on corruption. They even gave him money, all right? They gave him big money to help in the fight against corruption. That's why he went overseas and said, oh, the bombs is the corrupt, and we lose $500 million corruption every time. They're swinging the U.S. The PLP and the FNM together. That's what they do. And so it was just corruption talk. And so he came in and did this arrest of Shane Gibson. And then they, I believe, intentionally messed up the case. All right. They know that if you call back in the witness and get them to change their statement, that case thrown out. All right. They know that. So they did that intentionally. All right. The Frank Smith case, that's another case. What they did was they had Frank Smith, and y'all listen carefully. There's a reason I bringing this up. They arrested Frank Smith, all right, who was another small fry politician. And for corruption, they said that he was making the lady pay $5,000 a month, and the fella pay $5,000 a month for payout, on the table payout for contract. Okay. It was Miss Hannah and Adrian Hanna, Mr. Hanna. All right. And then Frank Smith said, yeah, it was Adrian Hanna, they was paying me, but now they paid off. They paid off their debt. All right. And so he said that in court, but now he's suing Adrian Hanna because after he won his case, they said that he got $8 million, and we don't have Freedom of Information Act, but that's what they're saying, that he got $8 million. All right, $8 million. Jesus, that's the $8 million man. So they're saying he got $8 million settlement. It's crazy. Shane Gibson got 2.5. We don't know how much the Commissioner of Police got, etc. But even with that, $8 million that they're alleging that he got, he went back and sued those persons because Ms. Hanna basically said, you know what, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what y'all bring me here for. I feel like I'm being used, and those words from the witness throughout the case. But even though those persons helped him win by saying what needed to be said to throw the case, he just recently filed something. And I'm not saying this to prejudice this case in any way. I'm just giving information because it's now public because it's getting in court. And they're saying to say who should win or who shouldn't win, was right, what ain't right. Nothing. I don't want you to come to any conclusion based on nothing I'm saying right now. All right? I'm just showing you what's happening. All right? Because he's a public figure in the public domain. This company, Poulan Limited, is Frank Smith's company. It's a company that was their law firm is, drum roll please, because every time you see some skullduggery going on, there's always one particular law firm that you'll see. Can you see this well? I don't know if you could see this well. But anyway, it says Poulan Limited, and their law firm is what? Davis & Co. So that's Brave Davis & Co. is the law firm for Poulan, which is Frank Smith them. And Frank Smith them have a company that does loans. So they give loans to trolls and croonies, apparently, or some legit, and then some of it is loan, some of it is like a little thing to say, an excuse in case anyone asks, why are you giving us money? It's because we gave you a loan. All right. But now Frank Smith, all right, and all this is allegation. Now Frank Smith is suing the same Adrian Hanna, all right, for $20,000 in magistrate court. This the funny part. Now Frank Smith them got the biggest lawyers around here. All right. Let me see if any lawyer on this thing. I ain't seen no law firm on this. But Frank Smith them, I guess they're lawyers, Davis and Co. But they suing for $20,000 in magistrate court. Now the limit in magistrate court is $5,000. So I don't know what kind of game this is. It's really $21,500 when you add the cost. So I don't know what kind of Mickey Mouse court this is, but $20,000 is what they're suing the defendant for, saying he owes them money. That's interesting because, magistrate court, I think everyone knows you only do $5,000 in magistrate court. But here you can see where Frank Smith and them was being paid. All right, being paid right there. You can see where they were being paid. Right? That's another extension of the loan agreement. But he has receipts where they were being paid. All right. Again, they may still owe Frank Smith more money. We're not saying this to prejudice the case in any way. Don't take nothing by this. But I wanted you to understand that Frank Smith was collecting, in some instances, you can see these Commonwealth Bank. In some instances, he was collecting some of these documents you'll see, 1,800, 1,500, 2,000 here and there. He was collecting, in addition to this $5,000 that he was allegedly collecting, plus he was collecting $400 a month from this gentleman. And there's more I won't say about this in court, so I gotta leave it there. All right, but I just want to say that Frank Smith, after getting allegedly $8 million, still going after the change. All right, just more to that right there, but that's in court, so I can leave that right there. Again, no coming to a conclusion based on that I was saying just now. All right. But so now Miss Hanna, and that's Adrian Hanna. I gotta leave that right there. But Frank, if you was getting $5,000 from Miss Hanna, if you said I was paid off, what's going on? What's going on? That's all I can say. I'll leave that there. All right. But these people they are scraping up everything from the Bahamian people. These people are hogs. I heard Leslie Miller say it before, but he's actually one of them too, because he's actually a hog too. He uses his mouth to get his way. But I heard Leslie Miller say it, because now see, Leslie Miller, get contract for road traffic, $20-something million again. These people are living their best life while y'all are suffering. All right, so we got to stand together. I want to say to Bahamian people, I can open the phone lines in a second. I want to say to y'all stop being distracted. There's some people who still going back and forth about the COI and whether we split. Man, the COI is in a phenomenal position. We have just met with many of our candidates. We had a general meeting to meet with a lot of our candidates. I think we have about 20 so far to be ready to put on the streets. It's an exciting time for us. And we met with a lot of them recently. A new executive team, which is mostly men. Believe it or not, we have an executive team that is mostly males. All right. If you are convinced, you would have seen that we have a strong executive team, mostly men, have come forward, and we are ready to take this country into the next level. We are focused on moving forward. I want you to understand people are trying to drive. Well, the PLP is hoping that they could drive a wedge by continuously saying, "Oh, we love Maria, we love Maria, we this and that. Oh, y'all do Maria bad, y'all this." Um, make sure that every PLP troll understands this. None of y'all love Maria more than I love Maria. All right, none of you, none of you. I love Maria Daxon with all my heart. All right. And I want to call on anyone who is out there fighting and throwing words back and forth. Let's call that quits. Because while we throwing words at each other back and forth, these scumbags are raping this country blind. Don't let them distract the only party that's willing and able to go there and fight them tooth and nail to keep their foot to the fire. Well, let's end that now. Let's end that. I don't want to hear another person with a negative word about Maria Daxon. Maria Daxon is a Bahamian hero who's been out there fighting. She may not be the deputy of the COI anymore, but we have to move forward. We can't move forward fighting amongst ourselves. This is a leadership call, and I'm calling on all of you to be leaders. I've had many of my enemies say all manner of things about me, and I don't attack them back. I see them spreading this video of KCX when he was on Clip Watson show, where he said Lincoln Bain is a snake or whatever that was, and he said some insulting things about me. But they won't show the video afterwards when he apologized and when I showed him love. I told him I love him. He told me he loved me too. They won't show that. They want to show men fighting. Brothers fight. Sisters fight. Mothers and daughters fight. But at the end of the day, that's my brother. At the end of the day. At the end of the day, only one country we got. And we cannot be divided in our country while the immigrants, legal and illegal, are taking this country away from us. Maria is not your enemy. Let's get that right. Let's focus on this country which is being raped right from under us. Let's focus. We's family. Family just row, family discuss, and at the end of the day, we let that go and we move on. It's time to move on. Anyone out there, I'm a public figure. If someone want to cuss me, call me sissy, whatever they want to say, I don't care. I know you out there, you're going to defend me, and I appreciate that. I'm just telling you, for me, I don't care. I don't care what Bahamian is saying anything about me. When my sons and daughters of this country are being pushed off their jobs, losing business opportunity, their land is being raped from under them. Y'all, let's get it together, or we can lose this country. So whoever is out there feeling the need to fight each other, it's time to stand down. Get your eye back on the prize. That $7 million is a joke to what these fellas doing right now. That's a joke. You see all these celebrations been going on? That's the Auditor General ain't get to that yet. What you think the Auditor General is going to find when they audit these celebrations that been going on? All these contracts where the fellas was bragging how they go around shopping for contracts. What you think they're gonna find? They mightn't get to it till after election. Don't let Fred Mitchell and these trolls distract you all with anything. Keep spanking them with the issues of this nation. And stay focused. Stay focused. Or we're going to lose this one country that we have. So I'm focused. We're going to keep our eyes on the prize and keep doing what we have to do. I want to open the phone lines for a second. Someone just sent me a WhatsApp reminding me that you can sue up to $20,000 in magistrate court. Now, I wasn't keeping up with that, so maybe that is the case. Because I know they were working on raising it. So maybe they did raise it. So thank you for that information if that has happened, if it's live now. All right. So all right. So let me open the phone lines. 803-5995, 803-5995. You can call regular call or WhatsApp call. 803-5995, 803-5995, regular call or WhatsApp call. All right. So whichever one you choose. All right. So 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. All right, we got power. Okay, let me make sure. All right, perfect. 803-5995. Let me make sure we are good. We are live. Okay, good. You can call in. 803-5995. Let's stay focused on what is in the front of us. All right. We have some people who want to take this country from us, and they are focused on doing that. Don't get distracted. All right. So let's stand down. All right. Some people are angry, and anytime you have incidents like that, people have a right to express themselves. It's a free country. I have no problem with that. All right. Now, I know I'm always going to do what's the right thing. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did in that situation. All right. So, sorry, I think it rang just now. It shouldn't be on silent. Oh, it was still on silent, even though it wasn't on silent. Okay, you can call back now. People have a right to vent. Some people said that Maria was angry. Yeah, that's understandable. Imagine if you were in the same situation and, you felt, you felt some kind of way. All right, that's human nature. Let's not judge people. Let's move forward and let's remember the bigger picture. If you let Brave Davis get back in and he's not worrying about a second term, if you let that happen, you think that's a dictator now, you're in trouble. If you let Pintard get in there and Fred Smith is running this country, Fred Smith will run this country, you could be in trouble. This country will be gone. If you let Brave them with all they do and selling out this country and letting all these people flood our country, etc., and he's not worried about a second term, listen, hey, give this whole thing away. Or stay focused. No Bahamian is my enemy, except the politicians who raping and robbing us. We got to come in, close our borders, educate our people, benefit from our natural resources. You saw the video at the beginning of this show. You saw it. Vaughn Miller talking about the natural resources and the carbon credits and everything else. Remember before election, they said I was selling dreams. But now Look, but they just don't want you to benefit. And so you could let them badmouth me and say this and that about me and all this nasty stuff that they're saying, and you could listen to it. I heard one person say Lincoln got fired from the police force. Jesus Christ, me? I mean, they're making up a lie a minute. No, I was never fired from the police force. I left the police force with honors. None of what they're saying is true. Of course, they're going to keep repeating that Lincoln being out of this lawsuit. The woman is suing him. She invests, I invest, and she's the place burned down, and she said I'm supposed to pay her back personally. I don't agree. All right, and as simple as that. That's what the courts are for. And at the end of the day, the court make a decision, and you go by the decision. Simple as that. It's not nothing criminal. She's not accusing me of anything criminal. I'm not accusing her of anything criminal. But that's not they're distracted with political trolls. Let's go to the phone lines. Good evening, you're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I just posted the conversation that you and KCX had after the Clint Watson interview with KCX.
Yeah.
So I just, what I really love, and I am so grateful for, that God still sits on the throne, and that the Bahamas and the Bahamian people is in trouble. But the thing is, the Bahamian people have woken up. Those who don't want to wake up, that's intentional. That's intentional. And it's because when you have the PLP and the FNM who are partners, they're giving out contracts. And when you think about the stalwart consulars in these different, the stalwart consulars who they presented as stalwart consulars, the stalwart consulars mostly have big families. And they get nothing from the PLP, nor the FNM, just like my father did.
Yeah.
My father's Sam Stubbs, he was a stalwart consular because he had 10 children. That means you have 13 votes coming out of our house for the PLP. And I can tell you today, 13 votes are not coming from going to the PLP again. I'm telling you, it's more than half going to the coalition of independents. I'll be surprised if the PLP get one vote from Sam Stubbs' children. One.
Wow.
His grandchildren. My nieces and nephews, they are tired of the PLP. They have never voted FNM. And the conversation on our family groups is COI all day.
Wow.
And another thing I like to say is that Faith Vicente, that lady Faith Vicente, she did an excellent job as the committee chairman for the convention. And the thing is, as we move forward, the Bahamas and the Bahamian people, we love what you're doing. We absolutely love what you're doing. And me, myself, Darren Lewis Stubbs, as a delegate for the COI, sitting in that boardroom that morning, it was an excellent show of unity. Over 75 plus up to, I don't know how much was in the room, but I know it was more than 75 persons, 75 up to 130 persons according to the seating arrangement. And we voted according to what is right for this movement.
Yeah.
This movement is not about party. This movement is about saving our country.
Yes.
And the next generations to come. Thank you for doing what you're doing and staying strong and not selling out.
Yeah.
You are a warrior. And I like to say again that we love Maria. With all due respect, no matter what she does right now, she's a Bahamian activist, she's a freedom fighter, and she's a woman, and we love her. God bless, God keep you, and God keep the Coalition of Independence, the Bahamian people's movement for change.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. 803-5995 is the number. And so if you have any questions, if any of your family members have any question, if you heard something and you wanted to be cleared up or any of that, I present myself to the Bahamian public every single week just for that purpose. No other leader in this country is willing to do just that. It's what I am doing, and it's what I will continue to do. I believe that all of our politicians should be accountable to our people, and that is why I continue to do what I do. All right. So, any questions you have, any statements you want to make, this is your chance. You can call in 803-5995, 803-5995, and we can go from there. Okay. Good evening. You're live.
Mr. President,
How you doing, man?
and I just want to say congratulations and thank you for a successful convention. It was nice.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I have one thing that is bothering me.
What's that?
What are we gonna do about these Haitians that come into the vote? How are we gonna stop them? That's bothering me. You need to pay attention to that.
Thank you, man. You know I ain't saying nothing here on live in front of everybody.
Okay. I know you got a plan, but that bothering me. I just want to know that we have a plan. We have something in place for them.
All right, man.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I can tell you one thing. If we do not win this election, country gone. That's it. Pack your bags. Start one name over. All right. If we do not win this election, it's over. And that's why we have to put aside all the petty and small things. Put aside all of our personal feelings. And we have to stay focused. This is more important than anything that you can imagine. All right. And I want to congratulate all of my COI people for impressive convention that terrified the political scene and caused them to go into utter and complete panic. Utter panic. They were in full panic mode, and Fred told them to just go out there and start throwing dirt. Just start finding everything to say about Lincoln, Maria, anyone you could. Just go out there and say stuff. You know, they started saying all kind of crazy things. I mean, they were out there saying, Dr. Marana MacGyver is a drunkard. I have actually never seen a woman drink alcohol. I'm not saying that she don't take a wine or take some kind of drink, but we've been, to dinners and all kind of stuff as a group. I've never even seen her drink. I'm not saying she don't, but they started saying the most petty things, and people were just eating that up. Oh, you hear what they say about this one? You hear what they say about that one? Man, no, man. We got to be beyond that, man. Good evening, you're live. Good evening, you're live.
Hello, Lincoln. Good evening to you and Bahamas and everybody who are members of the COI. I'm calling you from Fort Lauderdale.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
I want you to know that I listen every Sunday, and whenever you go live, I'm very proud of you. I'm a FLOMO graduate, so
awesome, man. Awesome.
I'm also very proud of that. Keep up the good work. You are a man sent from God.
Thank you, man.
And I just want to say kudos to you and the entire organization for the work you're doing. I'm proud as a Bahamian. And I tell people every day from all over the world that, listen, we are very aspirational as a people. And we're looking forward to the day when we have visionary leaders who are not corrupt and who intend to take this country to the next level. So thank you very much. I have one request. Please continue to assure Bahamians that on day one, you and your government will give us a Freedom of Information Act. This is the linchpin as far as we're concerned.
Yes.
We were different. The COI is different, and people need to be assured that there's going to be government in the sunshine, so to speak.
Yes, definitely. Well, we are the Freedom of Information Act right now because we're the only ones putting information out there while everyone else is trying to hide it. And definitely, we will enact and enforce the Freedom of Information Act immediately. All right, immediately, along with making sure we get access to our crown land and everything else that we promised. It's not difficult to do.
That's music to my ear. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And just so you know, I am broadcasting live from Fort Lauderdale right now. I'm actually in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, very good. I feel close to that.
Awesome, man.
Man, Godspeed to you and to the COI and to the Bahamian people.
Thank you, man. All right, God bless you. All right, 803-599-5 is the number. Yeah, man. All of the things that we've been telling the Bahamians that we can get, access to our crown land, come on, man. That's nothing. That doesn't cost the government anything. It costs nothing. All right? They've been promising free electricity. They're actually going to go solar because the international community is forcing everyone to go solar. We got to have 30% solar by 2030. And so why do we have to pay for it, though? Why? It should be free. Go back to the phone line. Good evening, you're live.
Hey, Mr. Ben, how you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
That's great, man. I wasn't going to call until the gentleman just now from Florida just called. For one, of course, the trolls doing their job because for some reason, every time the PMP come up in the papers and they do something, they find something in your organization to put out there to distract the people, but not pertaining to their party or what's really going on, who's in government. So that's clear fact that they are trying to distract the people.
Yeah.
They're worrying about Maria and this and that and Lincoln. When, there's a lady who sitting in the Prime Minister office threatening somebody and $7 million going missing. And I'm like, this is a distraction. This what you worried about? A party who's not even in yet? All right, boom. The gentleman from out of Florida who just called in, because I was thinking, I'm like, how is it Bahamians not waking up? And then there are some Bahamians that are awake. It's because it's like coming outside and you're standing in the road, you're looking through the window, and you see somebody in the kitchen, and then you can see in the road somebody's upstairs, but they can't see it. The reason why a lot of people, Bahamians and Floridians, not coming back home yet is because they don't see nothing beneficial for them. They see no reason. They see no better government in place. So why come home? There's a lot of family members that I have that does not want to come back home until things change, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
My daughter's in Canada, and I told her, listen, you got that in Exuma, it's like, what's the point? And she's 20.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point after that? I have all this education and I can't get a job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay over in Canada until things change. Now, question. Let's say that, for instance, if y'all get into power right there and then, would you, not guarantee, but what could you say, listen, every Bahamian, y'all go next to what y'all think is crown land and put it in, we got you. We can be fighting for that. Could you say that would be one of your plans to say? Because everybody don't run for it, I can be honest with you.
We are going to have a structured process where the land is going to be mapped out and persons can come in and pick their land. All right. The land will be digitized. Persons can come in, they could look and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want that piece right there. They point on the computer where it is, that land goes to them. They want a land to build a house in the Family Islands because we're going to have plans to move persons back to the Family Islands, spread out of Nassau. We have plans to make that happen. And so you're going to be able to get your piece of land to build your house on the Family Island. And we have ways to build up these communities. All right. And so over the next few months, we're going to be releasing some of our plans. We got Vision 2030 coming. And so you're going to hear exactly what we're going to do to make all of this happen.
All right, well, that make a lot of sense. Now, back to what I was saying, I'm going to let you go right now, pertaining to the house. See, people in Florida can see what is happening in the country way better than the people who are in the country. You understand?
Yeah.
And that was one of my points. I kind of strayed off, but I wanted to let the people know that they can see everything much clearer than us, than being here. The ones who are awoken and who listen to you, they already awoken and they see. They want change and they don't want no corruption. You understand? And there are
Let me interrupt you
saying
for a
that
second.
want change.
I'm concerned about two things. I'm concerned about the Bahamians that are coming home, our children coming home and being told that they're overqualified to find a job in the Bahamas, which means that the Bahamas is underqualified. All right, our country is low when our children are overqualified to be in our country, and I don't know how that's acceptable to people. But I'm also concerned in that Bahamians are now moving to Canada to scrub toilets, to clean houses. And no job is a degrading or bad job. But that wasn't us. That used to be the Jamaicans and the Haitians that would travel to go and do these kind of remedial jobs. But when we have now Bahamians are slowly turning into what we used to see in Jamaica and in Haiti, etc., we're in trouble. And it's happening right before our eyes. And we're being replaced in our own country by foreigners who got all the money. The immigrants now have all the money, buying up all the houses, getting up all the jobs, getting the contracts, while Bahamians are being pushed to the side, and they're letting the politicians continue to let this happen while they promote the politicians who are taking away the opportunity for their own children, and they see nothing wrong with this. And this is why we fight.
And I really need you to fight for the young people who aren't awake and who have a chance to vote. That is going to be one of the biggest advantage to the COI, because there's a lot of young people that's not voting because they feel like they have no need to vote. You understand? They have to realize that when these Chinese at night close their shop, we don't see them in the club. We don't even see them in supervising. We don't see them at none of the Haman establishments. They are organized. We are not, and we are divided because we've been trained that way for years, being manipulated, not knowing that we were being manipulated and taken advantage of, to be honest with you. So these young people really have, their minds has to be open, and the best thing you could open up a man's eyes is to hear it from somebody else. Just like a man will tell his wife something, or a woman will tell her husband something, and then an outsider will come in and tell them the same thing and be like, you know what, you was right. And be like, but I was telling you that. Sometimes hearing it from somebody else. So foreigners, not foreigners, Bahamians who are away, to come and talk to Bahamian people and let them say what they are seeing and how we're being taken advantage, I think would change the whole concept of this government.
All right, thank you for your call, man. All right, I'm trying to get back to the phone lines. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay, we lost that call. We lost that call. Well, this is what it is. We are now reaching the state. Let me just take this call. Good evening, you're live.
Good night, my president. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Great. I am wondering if my Bahamian people realize the danger about this gang bill. To me, it feels like it's a strategy that they passed this bill without letting the Christian Council look over it to lock up Bahamian young men and family so they would have a chance to vote. But yet still, people are lining up to get the $20 bag of groceries. But they refuse to stand in the square to stand up for our own that they're taking away from us. It's amazing that they can stand in the hot sun for a $20 bag, but they don't want to stand in Boston Square for the minimum of $100,000. Make that make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to elaborate on the gang bill, but let the Bahamian people know how dangerous that bill would they pass without bringing forth to us, because to me, I think it's targeting our young men.
Not just targeting our young men. It will target our young men. Our young men are dying out every day and being incarcerated, and that is going to target them. But what you want to do, Jesus said something. You can't take the house unless you bind up the strong man. And a lot of our men, sad to say, are on the streets. A lot of our strong men, instead of in the boardrooms, etc., they're on the streets. And it's difficult for the foreign invaders to take over the Bahamas. It's reality. To take over the Bahamas, if they can't control the streets. And so those laws are going to be applied against our young men who are already at a disadvantage because the foreign, the Haitian gangster has the money, the guns, the drugs. But that won't affect them. That's going to affect our young men. Our young men are going to be arrested and our streets are going to be cleared. I want you to take a close look at the fellas who coming in now. These fellas are warriors. I want you to look at the fellas who landing. These warriors. Look at them. These built men. They look trained.
All right.
Look at the men working at Bahama, etc. It's like a lot of companies made agreements to allow these foreigners to get jobs. All right.
Yes.
Look at these men working in the yard at Bahama. These strapped men. All right. Look at what's happening. I want y'all to pay close attention to what's going on. All right.
That's the sad part about it. That's why it hurts me. Because that could be my nephew, that could be any other family member. It bothers me every day. If I'm even on Furnace Road walking, and you hear the buses with our young men just going to course every day, it bothers me.
Yeah.
But yet still people cannot see that this New Day government hasn't done one thing good for the Bahamian people. This prime minister, he hasn't stayed in this country 6 months straight to attend the Bahamian business. But he is so confident that, hey, you know what? We already have our voting block, so I am not even checking. That's how he's carrying on.
Yeah.
He's carrying on like, hey, what the hell? We already straight. Those 28 home keys that they give away the other day, I wonder how much of them are Bahamian. They didn't reveal that. But Bahamians have to wake up. They have to wake up, get your voter's card. Oh, Lord, it's just sad.
Yeah.
I tell them, it's, but they need to pay attention to that gang bill and other stuff.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We're gonna have more time to talk about more of this stuff moving forward. Someone says you get more time in prison for this gang bill than for murder. Yeah, you get more time in prison for this gang bill than for having a gun. All right. They're gonna lock you up for associating with a gangster. That's not defined. Associating. That's a problem. Associating. What does that mean? Does that mean the politician who has the gangster, the drug dealer as his campaign general can now be considered associating? It's going to backfire on them. Stay tuned. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to end it right there. We did almost our 2 hours tonight. I want to again encourage all of my Bahamian people to stay focused. Genesis chapter 11. God made a statement. He said the people are one. They're talking alike. They're thinking alike. And this they began to do, meaning they were trying to build the Tower of Babel into the heavens. And People think that was impossible, but God said, they're talking alike, they're thinking alike, they won. And he said, now nothing that they can imagine in their minds will be impossible for them. Nothing. He did his last call, but I still under the 2 hours. He did his last call. Good evening, you're live.
Yeah, Mr. President, I just want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
They are putting together a men's march, say, against crime. Do you see where that makes any sense?
What we need to do is empower our people, which will reduce crime. We need those persons who are organizing this march to stand up with us as we stand up to fight for our crown land, to stand up for us benefiting from our natural resources, to stand up for getting our sovereign wealth fund back, because none of them have said anything. And these are things that can empower our men. Marching would empower us. Talking ain't empower us no more. We need actual empowerment. You can't even get a loan from the bank for $40,000 if you put a business on it. But you could get a loan for a car for $40,000. We need real empowerment. Enough of the charades and the talks. Marches are nice. I'm not telling anyone to go march, but I want real empowerment. I'm not talking about empowerment. We need to put the Amens first. We need our sovereign wealth fund. We need to benefit from our carbon credits.
That's right.
This is empowerment.
When I saw on Facebook advertised for this, say, mobilizing the men to come march against crime, I said they should be asking the men to come stand up and march for our natural resources, to march for our to march against some VAT tax, to build our senior citizens retirement condominiums, the march that we have cafeterias in our schools, the march that we have at least one hurricane shelter to march. I mean, it's the things that really interest the Bahiman people. Yes, crime is out there. Yes, that we march for our sovereign wealth fund that called Bahamians to stand up for that. And then they ask you to say, put on a blue jean pants and a white shirt. And you know how I see that? As we're looking like a bunch of Bahamian men who are criminals and are being caught, dressed like prisoners, like our former prisoners used to dress with the blue jeans and the white shirt, to say that, listen, we have captured the Bahamian men. And the lady that called and talked about the prison bus going to the prison. The prison bus loaded down with Bahamian young men going to prison, going to the courts. But when you look at the different buses, you see all these Haitian nationals going to work and on trucks going to work. The scene does not look good.
That's powerful.
The scene does not look good.
That's
I told them, I go in March, I'll be marching going door to door to remove the PLP or the FNM from coming into office. I'm marching for change, with COI.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and I'm encouraging everyone to come and help us march door to door. Get in contact with us. Come help us. We're going door to door. And we got to get the message out. If you want to stop crime, marching won't stop the crime, because you have the criminals in the House of Assembly that are encouraging the crime. All right, the crime starts at the top. That's why the crime continues. I've talked about this over and repeatedly. All right, the crime will not stop unless you get rid of the PLP and the FNM, who are working with the criminals on this. Don't fool yourselves. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Every country that has let their people benefit from the natural resources, crime has gone down. All right. Every country that has given opportunities to their people, crime has gone down. How can you march for crime but you're not marching against illegal immigration? Illegal immigration is causing your sons and daughters to lose their jobs, and therefore they have to turn to crime. Think. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have no opportunity and things are expensive as they are, food you can't afford in the grocery store, You can't afford to buy clothes. You can't afford electricity. You can't afford water. You can't afford to buy a car. You can't afford to buy a piece of land. What do you expect us to do? Thank you for tuning in. Let's stay focused. Let's push a message of love. The PLP trolls have had their fun for about a week. It's time for us to get back on message. Get back on message. Let's get back to benefiting from our natural resources, from our carbon credits. Let's continue to expose them as it relates to corruption. Whoever has information, send information in. We're going to continue to expose the corruption that's going on in this country. Thank you. God bless you. We love you. And I want you to remember, more than anything else, stay focused, because we can win this. We will win this. Don't mind them sending the fake parties that are now going to be formed after all the work has been done. Don't mind them bringing certain people to the PLP and F&M, saying, oh, these good candidates. They always have good candidates on paper. And then when it's time to run the country, what happens? What happens? We don't need good, educated, or any of that stuff. Although we have that, we need people willing to come in and end the corruption and willing to serve the Bahamian people and not political interests. God bless you. I love you. You have a country full of resources that belongs to you. It is not a handout if you're getting access to what is yours. They say, oh, see why lazy, they want handouts. I don't want handouts. I ain't giving no one no handouts. What you're getting belongs to you. As simple as that. And some won't catch on to it, some won't understand it, but what you're getting belongs to you. Stay focused. End the infighting. Let's focus our guns back at where it needs to be, at the people who are corrupting this nation. For all of you, even those who finally need to cuss me out, I love you. I'm fighting for you. While you cuss me, spit on me, do whatever, I'm fighting for you. Nonetheless, let's do this for our country. Because when I hear our Bahamians going to Canada to be maids, our children coming back here with degrees, you can't find a job, the teen crime bad now. Stay tuned.
And I start with a document released by Tenneco. It's a Tenneco 1986 internal report. States that the oil projections in the Bahamas are anywhere from 4 billion to 17 billion barrels. In 1986, Lyndon Pindon gave Tenneco authorization to drill 7 exploratory wells. The names of those wells are Manta Base, Sand Shark, Bluefin, Lionfish, Blue Marlin, Grouper, and Hammerhead. Now, findings. Manta Bay estimate 1.447 billion barrels.
So the first question most people ask is, why are you in the Bahamas? And there's some sort of presumption that it's about palm trees and beaches and cocktails, but actually we're in the Bahamas because it's a very, very, very prolific oil-producing region. There were, as I'll get into in a few minutes, there are historical wells. It's in a very prolific oil-producing region. There's been a 3D seismic campaign. And
Lionfish, estimate 0.94 billion barrels. Grouper, estimate 6.492 billion barrels. Hammerhead, estimate 1.007 billion barrels. Total amount of barrels estimated 17.063 billion barrels. Bahamas 3D seismic test and what was discovered. 1. 3 traps identified as fulls of where oil has accumulated. 2. These traps rival those of the Middle East in size. 3. The Bahamas oil potential is as big as those of the Middle East. What has happened with the natural resources of the Bahamas, especially oil? The oil resources of the Bahamians are worth tens of trillions of dollars.
We're at the point where we have to drill a well, and we have to get going on the drilling of that well by April 2017.